Hi, I'm Ehsan Bahrami. Welcome to this video. You've probably been hearing a lot about DeepSeek lately. This new Chinese AI model and tool has, with its latest version, caused significant drops in the tech stock markets around the world, including the US, and NVIDIA lost a considerable amount of its value. In this video, by reviewing the features of DeepSeek, you can not only use it better in your daily tasks, but also understand what makes it different from other AI models and tools, which has made it newsworthy to the extent that even the President of the United States referred to it as a wake-up call for winning the technology race. Before we start the video, I suggest you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell button, and set it to all so you'll be notified as soon as a new video is uploaded and you won't lose track of the channel. Also, if you enjoyed the video, you can give me some energy by liking and commenting. And if you think this video can be useful for others, share it with your friends. DeepSeek is a Chinese company active in the field of AI, developing LLM or large language models. The main owner of this company is another company called Highflyer. You might hear their names more often in the future, just like OpenAI, which developed ChatGPT. That's why I thought it wouldn't be a bad idea to get familiar with their names. DeepSeek was founded in 2023, but it gained fame with the release of its AI models DeepSeek V3 and DeepSeek R1. Just 2 to 3 weeks ago, on January 10th, 2025, they released their chatbot software based on these AI models, and by January 27, it becomes the most downloaded free software on the iOS App Store in the US. This event was so impactful that it set off a chain of events and created a lot of buzz. To illustrate the magnitude of its impact, DeepSeek caused NVIDIA's stock value to drop by about 17%, which is approximately $600 billion. This decline in stock value didn't only affect NVIDIA, but it serves as an example. What is NVIDIA anyway? NVIDIA is a company that produces GPUs or graphics cards, which are used for the necessary processing in AI models. Since ChatGPT, many chatbots and AI models have entered the market, but none have had the same impact as DeepSeek. Do you know why? The main weakness of most general AI models used daily by people is that creating a good sample requires high processing power, which is supplied by many GPUs, making the production and development cost of AI models very high. Besides processing costs, there are also significant research, manpower, and other costs for each company. This was the very point DeepSeek tried to improve upon, making headlines. With the method they chose, they developed their models with lower processing power. This means fewer GPUs are needed, and consequently, production costs are lower. Most importantly, despite the reduced cost, DeepSeek models register better results in most benchmarks compared to other companies' models. This demonstrated that producing a quality AI model could consume less processing power, making the service cheaper for the end user. The source of these points can be found on the front page of the DeepSeek website and their articles, which we are reviewing together here. The different columns display information about various models such as DeepSeek V3, DeepSeek V2.5, and GPT-4o. And the rows are divided into different sections, which we will briefly review together. I leave the website address in the description for you to check out in more detail. In the first section, it shows the architecture used and the total number of parameters and activated parameters. I'll explain these 3 points in more detail later in the video. In other rows, the benchmarks are divided into categories like English language, code and programming, mathematics, and the Chinese language. As you can see, in most of them, DeepSeek V3 has achieved better scores. Most importantly, before the release of the DeepSeek V3 and DeepSeek R1 AI models, Other chatbots like ChatGPT, Gemini, Copilot, and others had many limitations for their free services, and the use of reasoning models was either not available for free or very limited in the free version. However, DeepSeek provided all these features for free to users, and the cost of using the API is also much lower compared to similar examples like ChatGPT. You might wonder how DeepSeek managed to reduce the need for processing power. Before answering this question, let me say that an interesting thing this company did was to make the technical report publicly available so everyone can see how they managed to reach this optimal point. Their main idea is that for the development of the entire DeepSeek V3 model, they use 671 billion parameters, but for each request response, they don't use the full number of parameters. And with a method called MOE or mixture of experts, they use only 37 billion of the parameters per token. This ensures that while the quality is maintained to an acceptable level, the amount of processing is reduced and consequently costs are lowered. If you want access to this article, just go to GitHub and visit the DeepSeek-AI page and refer to the DeepSeek-V3 repository. In this repository, you can see a PDF file named DeepSeek_V3.pdf. Another good feature of DeepSeek compared to other models like those related to ChatGPT is that they are open source and anyone can easily access them on GitHub. Having a model freely available to the public can be very helpful because you can even run its smaller models on a personal computer, and when everyone can easily access these components, even a student or a specialist with a personal computer can create many new ideas, accelerating the growth of AI. On the other hand, if someone is worried about the security of their information and doesn't trust these companies, and if these smaller models can suffice, they don't need to use the chatbots of DeepSeek or OpenAI. Of course, the capability of a model running on a personal computer shouldn't be compared to a model provided by DeepSeek's public chatbot, as the number of parameters used to create these models is less. If you want to access DeepSeek on GitHub, just find the DeepSeek-AI account and see all their repositories. There you can access the codes and models and read the complete explanations about these in the readme.md file of the repositories. So far, we've tried to see what DeepSeek is, why it has become famous, and what its features are. However, in a good review, we should also mention the negative points users have said about DeepSeek. Let's review some of these points. 1. Missing some features like voice communication, which is an attractive feature in ChatGPT. 2. Given that DeepSeek is trending now and possibly at peak usage by users, sometimes you might encounter temporary service outages when using the services. 3. Another point users mention is the potential privacy risk, saying that European and American regulations are more transparent about these issues. One question frequently asked these days is whether DeepSeek will replace ChatGPT or not. It's still too early to give a definitive answer to this question. The answer depends on the user and their needs. If your application is such that DeepSeek provides better responses, then this chatbot and its models can be a better option for you. If we were to summarize all the points discussed, the important thing is not the details of the number of GPUs used or the figures announced in financial matters, which companies might not transparently discuss for commercial reasons, but the benefits brought about by DeepSeek, which can be summarized as follows. 1. Creating competition between companies, which increases growth speed and product quality, ultimately benefiting the end user. 2. This competition led many features that companies didn't have in their free accounts in the past to be offered for free now, like the reasoning feature. 3. The architecture used in DeepSeek models, which reduces the amount of processing, generally cause people to think more about optimizing methods in AI. So we shouldn't be biased towards a particular model or tool and argue about which model is a few percent better in a specific topic or costs X% less than another. The main point is the progress that the arrival of DeepSeek has caused in AI, giving an extra boost to improve competing companies. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and share it. In the comment section, if you have any questions about programming or AI, you can ask. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more videos. Until the next video, see you friends!